So welcome to my first video. Now you're probably wondering, why have I got a Mark III Escort in a gym? Well, this is my gym where I do my day-to-day job, and I've got an interest in cars as well as fitness, but I've also got an interest in men's mental health, men's well-being, and I run an organisation along with other directors called Men Talk UK. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have a little bit of fun, do something as a bit of a hobby where I get cars in, people I know, and hopefully some people that I don't know who will put themselves forward for me to come and talk about their cars. Put it in a gym, all a male dominated environment pretty much, and get talking, because I'm hoping that along the way it's going to attract some of you guys to watch these videos where we're going to talk about things you enjoy. We're in the environment that a lot of people are familiar with, and yeah, I get a lot out of it too. And we can touch on men's mental health as well along the way. Now, I'm no expert on cars. I've just got a massive fascination with cars. I've had a lot of cars. I've had a few of these, but not this particular model. Now, this particular model, and obviously this is not the original number plate or a private plate. This is a plate we got made up, Men Talk. But this particular model is a friend of mine, and he's told me that he came across this by chance, really, on a farm. And the reason he wanted to have this particular car is because it's a car he always liked as a young kid. The Mark III Escort. A lot of the Escorts back then, the ones that you were looking out for were the 3i's, the RS Turbos, 1600i's, and so on. So he came across this, which was in a poor state. So it's been a bare shell rebuild from the bottom up. And obviously I'm going to take you around it, have a look, and just give you my sort of opinions on this kind of car, and hopefully you'll get some satisfaction out of it as well, because it probably get, like my friend, it takes you back, way back, as does this school bench. You know, I think most of us of a similar age will remember these school benches back in the day. Bloody uncomfortable, but they were obviously used a lot in the schools. I don't know if they still are, but back in my day we used to use them for assemblies, we used to use them for PE, so on and so forth. And back then, these cars were obviously very popular. However, this one is a little bit different. Not only is it in absolute fantastic condition because of the restoration it's undertaken. And please remember, when I'm talking about this, as I said, I'm no expert on cars. I've just got a big fascination with cars, and I'm doing something I enjoy. So if there are things I get wrong, obviously, you know, comment, correct me in the nicest possible way. But keep listening, because we're going to talk about men's mental health as well, and touch on those subjects, which is ultimately why I'm doing this, because I want to get the message across whilst we're talking about things that most men enjoy. So this particular one, as you can see, it's an Escort 1.6 Ghia. Why is it different? Well, I've been told there weren't many of them, and this particular model is a 3-door, not a 4. So there'll be a lot of Ford fans out there, and you will know a lot more than I do about these cars. So I look forward to some of the comments down below. Now, when I first saw this, I said that these wheels were the Escort RS 1600i wheels. And they are the same, but these are actually the Series 1 RS Turbo wheels. Now the reason, and I've been informed why we know the difference, and it's a slight difference, is that you've got the writing in 3 places here, and I believe on the RS 1600i wheels only got it 1 bit of writing on there, but on here you've got the full badge, you've got something else there I can't really see, and the stud pattern imprinted on there as well. So there's one little interesting fact that I've been informed of. Obviously they've been refurbed along with the rest of the car, and it looks a little bit different because they wouldn't originally come on this, but this is something that the owner would have done if he was you know, back in the day and had this car. If he was obviously of an age where he was getting a car as a sort of first time driver or in his earlier years, this is something he would have done. And to be honest, probably something I would have done and something I have done as well, to be fair. And obviously it is, as far as I'm aware, the original colour as well, which is, I believe, is it a sunburst orange or red? I'm sure I'm going to be corrected, but you know, again, it's absolutely immaculate. It's been done really well, and it's a fantastic looking car, and it, you know, it gets a lot of attention even when I've seen it out and I've taken a second look, because I don't realise it's my mate, and I have a second look, whereas newer cars I probably wouldn't pay as much attention, but that's just because of that generation, you know. Obviously it depends what car it is, if it's of a new age, but a lot of these older cars like the Cosworths and the Escorts, you take a second look, don't you? If you're that generation, you're going to take a second and probably a third look. And something the owner said is that from building this or restoring it, he's come across a lot of people that he wouldn't normally associate with. And I think that was a really important point that he made, was that ordinarily these people he wouldn't really speak to, he wouldn't come into contact with, and they probably wouldn't be his cup of tea. But they are, you know, normal everyday people, decent people with similar interests, which was obviously cars and this particular make and model. But in everyday life, you know, we sometimes stick to our own, don't we? And we get a little bit afraid to talk to other people because they might not be people we normally associate with or want it in our life. But I think it's great to have different hobbies and different interests that then brings you out to meet these other people. And he's certainly done that whilst getting parts, you know, sourcing parts for this car, and has probably made some friends through it as well. And particularly if anything goes wrong with it, you know, looking for advice on further parts, how to fix things and so on. So I think that's an interesting point to take away, is that if you're sitting at home and you're not doing a great deal and you're doing the same thing, but you want to meet new people, you know, there is a big world out there, and find your hobbies, find your interests. It doesn't have to be cars or the gym. It could be many other things. But for me, it's cars, it's the gym. And I've met loads of people through, you know, car shows, and just, you know, back in the day where we used to go up to a place called Maidstone Bridge, where a lot of the boy racers, me being one of them, used to go. And I used to have an RS Turbo back then. I had a Series 1 and a Series 2. I had quite a few of them. And if I only had it now, what a fortune they would be. And I absolutely used to love them cars. Absolutely brilliant cars. And I think one day I'd probably get another one again when I can afford it, because it does bring back a lot of memories. And just looking at the door handles now and the wing mirrors, you know, it just brings back a hell of a lot of memories. Really does. Let's have a little further look around the car. So I'm not sure, maybe it was the original little pinstripes down there. I'm not sure if that was an original thing from factory, if it's something that has just been added. And the old classic Ghia badge, as you'd see on either wing and on the back. I mean, it's in great condition, as I keep going on about. Really is a lovely motor. And he tells me as well, I think he's got this bronze tinted glass in it as well. And I know from conversations, he's changed the sunroof, which was really hard to get hold of. Not cheap either. One that's not rusted, and is going to fall apart when you put it in. But he found that, he sourced that, got it in, and obviously, thankfully, doesn't leak. Rear wiper as well. So let's have a little look inside, and we'll flip the bonnet as well. So, no electric windows in here. Who needs electric windows in that day and age, eh? And the steering wheel, very thin, huge, and it's a 5-speed as well. And this cloth interior, which, you know, when you sit in it, oh, it just takes you back. It just takes you back. And the dashboard, again, a lot of them cracked. They would get wet, they would get damp. I think there's a lot of cardboard underneath them. Sun would get on them, discolour. So it's got this brown. I mean, it's not the most attractive interior, but for that day, you know, this was smart. And the old cassette holder in here. Looks like I've just bloody broken that. He's going to kill me. Hopefully he ain't got his best tape in there. But yeah, look at the old tape deck and radio. Jesus. The headline is absolutely fantastic. It's not sagging at all. Like I say, it's all been done. It's just takes you back. It's probably something back in the day, you know, mum and dad would have, or your grandparents, if you're of a similar age to me. Let's flip that bonnet. Now these used to break a lot. I know on my ones, the cables used to snap a lot. Thankfully that hasn't, otherwise I would be in for it. So as I previously stated, it's got a 1.6 engine, obviously petrol. And let's just get this hooked up, doing everything here with one hand on the camera. So, as you can see, the panels, the wings, absolutely mint, I think it's fair to say. Obviously the classic Ford badge, and headlights as well, they would discolour quite a lot. And I wouldn't imagine that they're that easy to get hold of. Even the brackets up top, not a spot of rust on them. And these little things must have been really difficult to source. I know the header tanks, they would discolour and crack, even on the later Escorts. Now air filter sitting on top. I mean, it's just a lovely thing to look at. It really is. Nowadays, as we know, cars, there's not much you can see. A big lump, not much space. And with this, you know, you can see pretty much everything. Easy to work on, simple to work on. Old VIN plate there. Because it's been done so well, obviously a little bit of heat proof in there as well. It's like brand new, like absolute brand new. Fantastic. I could look at this for hours, I really could. I really could. It's just such a lovely thing. And it's a good colour as well. And I think that's another reason why it stands out so well, is the colour. It's really good. And these engines were a CVH engine, single overhead cam. I've no idea what power they would put out. I'm guessing about 80 or 90 brake horsepower, something like that. Obviously, you didn't buy these things to go fast in, but you know, they're again easy to work on. I think as far as engines go, they were pretty reliable. And they were an 8-valve, and that's about as much as I know about these, to be honest. I just used to drive them and admire them, and that's what I do now, and that's what I'm doing now. I mean, just got to sit back and admire the absolute beauty of the cars we used to have. And it can really make you reminisce and brings on that nostalgia and can bring back so many memories. And I think that's why a lot of the guys go out and go to car meets still, because they want to see cars like this out and about, because it does bring back memories and it opens up conversations. For me, it's been a real pleasure to be able to sit and admire this car, because I've seen it a few times, but I haven't had time to walk around it and look at it like I have and like I've shown you. And it's made me want something like this myself even more. I was the proud owner of a Sierra Sapphire Cosworth rear-wheel drive back in the day. And I'll pop a picture up of that as well. And that was just a glorious, fun, powerful car. You know, in my early 20s, I was lucky enough to own. Had so much fun in it, so much fun in it. And I say powerful, it was then. Obviously, it's not now. You know, he was looking at about 240, 250 brake horsepower on that particular one that I had. And it was just a great joy to drive. I had a lot of fun with mates in that car, down to Southend, cruising down there where people still go, so I understand. And again, even back then, you know, conversations would open up, and I think it's so important that we tap into those conversations where we can. If we're going to a boxing club, we're going to a gym, going to car meets, you might be going to play croquet, whatever it is you want to do. Don't be afraid to go and do it. Croquet is probably a terrible example, but my point is there's stuff to do out there, and it does not matter what anyone else thinks. If it's something you enjoy, go out and do it. As long as you're not hurting anyone and you're not breaking the law, then it's all good. Now, I'm doing something I enjoy, and there'll be some people maybe watching this thinking, what the hell has he got an old Escort in a gym for? Well, these are two things that are very dear to me, cars and this environment, and this is where I work as well. So why not? It does not matter what other people think. It's about your happiness. So if you are feeling lonely and you feel like most of your days are spent with the same people or not around people at all, and you're doom scrolling, find something interesting. Even if it is on your phone, find something of interest. Don't just be scrolling through and looking what other people are doing and trying to compare yourself, because that's the thief of joy. That comparison to why have they got this, why have they got that, and I haven't. That's not going to do you any favours. Find an interest. And this little thing I've done today by walking around this car and talking to you guys, and hopefully at least reaching one person that will take something away from this, you know, that for me is rewarding, and I will get a lot out of it. Now, if you're thinking that it just isn't worth the hassle of going out and you feel anxious, well then there are things to work on. It's not going to change overnight if you feel that way. There's going to be some things that are going to be a struggle to take that first step towards. But that's okay, because that's what life's about, being challenged and trying to get over those hurdles. But ultimately it's trying to get over those hurdles to find a little bit more happiness in your life. And that sounds all very good and all very well and easy for me to say. I understand that, but you can do it if you really want to do it. And your happiness is important. I'm doing something that makes me happy. It might be something that someone else looks at and says, what's the bloody point in that? Doesn't make them happy, but that doesn't matter, does it? It's about my happiness. So find something, get involved in something. You know, don't hold back, life's too short. Go and enjoy it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. We've got a lot more cars lined up, new and old. So if you can, and if you want to, subscribe, keep a lookout for us, because we've got a lot more coming, and feel free to share. So like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you.